Hello, good morning. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for inviting me. I think that is extremely important once we speak about growth, about evolution, that we have one entire chapter which is digital infrastructure and ICT. Well, it's absolutely clear that digital infrastructure are very important. I would say the engine or the platform for the coming future. Well, referred to Italy, I think that we had a very long debate if Italy was delayed, if Italy wasn't delayed. There are different statistics. If we go to some statistics, the digital divide shouldn't be the main reason for such a delay in the take-up of the broadband in the consumer segment or the ICT in the enterprise segment. It's a matter of the fact that super fast or ultra fast broadband in Italy is not comparable with the figures that we see in other countries of Europe. Well, there are historical reasons. If we see those countries in which ultra broadband infrastructure are more developed, in most of the cases, we are referring to a very important cable infrastructure for cable television, which in Italy never occurred. But I think that if we continue to look backward, it will become extremely difficult to talk about our future and the future of the growth. So this is the reason why a few days ago, it's less than 10 days ago, we presented a new business plan. The new business plan is intended to accelerate extremely fast our willingness to invest. We're talking about a plan that in the next 3 years will allow Italy to reach more than 50% of the penetration of ultra broadband in terms of population, more than 600 cities covered with ultra broadband. It's extremely interesting that a few days ago, not only Telecom Italia has presented their own plan. So there should be a very interesting infrastructure competition. An infrastructure competition, let me say, sound very good, sound very safe. It is always preferable to have an infrastructure competition. We had in the mobile, and everybody can see the results of an infrastructure competition in the mobile. Prices have been, in the medium term, prices have been lower, the coverage has been excellent, and the overall service has been extremely important. So I think that what is extremely important, and I'm very happy that in the panel we have a regulator both at European level and national level. What is extremely important is that new infrastructures require necessarily a new regulating approach. I think that until now, Europe did a fantastic job. I was in the US a few days ago. I found that there is a lot of excitement for the coming fourth generation of the mobile, which is interesting because de facto, the third generation never happened. We have in Europe, all across Europe, an excellent service at a very interesting price. And I think that this has been the result of an intelligent regulatory approach that we had in the last decade. The last decade, it was extremely important since more operators were making their investment. It was extremely important to transfer part of the value to the final customer. And I think it has been done because more competition allowed us to compete not only with price, but it was the quality of service, it was the coverage, it was much more than the pure price, but ultimately also the price. If you see how much does it cost to have a mobile broadband in the US and a mobile broadband in Europe, you will see that we are between 3 and 4 times cheaper, and the coverage is definitely better and stronger. But now, what is coming is a new season of investment. I just want to talk about the company I'm managing. In the next 3 years, only in next generation infrastructure, both fixed and mobile, we will invest something very close to 3.4 billion euros, which is a part of the broader investment plan of more than 9 billion euros. But 3.4 would be dedicated only to next generation infrastructure. And everybody knows, next generation infrastructure, first you have to build infrastructure, the demand will come. But the payback for those investments is fairly long. Even more important, if we want to introduce those infrastructure in areas fairly underdeveloped, like, for example, the programs that with the support of the Common Economic Union we are doing in the south of the country. It is extremely important to open a season of doing. We have to stop discussing, we have to start investing, which is exactly what is intended in our plan. We start doing. I think that every time you see, and every time I see, questioning or complaints, or at least to me, a question arises quite immediately. Why are we questioning every time we try to do something? Now, I think that it is important to cover this bridge, to bridge this gap. The gap is there is no doubt. I read the agency, the Prime Minister said this morning, the gap is there, we have to do and to do fast, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to cover faster, we want to cover with a higher speed, so we are sure that a regulation that will be intended to be not only pro-competitive, but also pro-investment, which I read in the newspaper, President Cardani, this morning it was actually, not only more competition, which is always good, but keep in mind that we have to invest, and everybody who invests has only one principle, only one North Pole, which is the return on our investment. I think that this is not a time for just a debate. It's a moment in which every energy that the company represents and all our competitors have to put in place is acting. In order to act, we need not only the support of the regulator. In order to act, we need also the public administration to be supportive. Municipalities has to allow us to make all our civil works. We need authorization to happen very fast. We need the public administration to adopt new technologies. If you read the statistics, how much the Italians are using internet in order to access to the public administration, it is extremely low. If you see how many customers, how many consumers use e-commerce in Italy, it is extremely low. But we cannot wait. We cannot wait for the demand. The demand will come. So we are doing an extremely important effort. Billions of euros coming, which is employment, which is work, which is dedication to the country, because keep in mind that every time we build infrastructures in Italy, those investments stay in Italy. It's not only to be nationalistic, but in this extremely difficult economic environment, we have to keep in mind that more than 85% of the investment we do in order to expand this digital environment and with work that is done nationally. So it is extremely exciting to participate in such an important panel. So I'm very pleased to be invited, and I thank you really very much. Thank you very much.